The stars above the planet Nerelia shimmered like diamonds scattered across a black velvet sky. From his vantage on the observation deck of the small human research vessel, James Carver watched the floating cities drift gently over the glowing forests below. He had traveled across countless star systems, but Nerelia was different. Its forests glowed with a pale blue light, and massive spires rose from the ground as if they had grown from the earth itself. The Nerelians, an alien species of tall, slender beings with translucent skin and eyes like liquid silver, moved among the cities with grace, their technology blending seamlessly with nature. James had been sent to study them, to understand their ways and, if necessary, to assist in maintaining peace. Humans were rare visitors in this part of the galaxy, and while some Nerelians viewed them with curiosity, others were wary. James knew that respect, patience, and courage were the keys to earning trust here. He barely had time to take in the view when alarms echoed through the vessel. A red light flashed, accompanied by a voice speaking in rapid Nerelian. James didn't understand the words, but he understood the urgency. He rushed to the bridge, finding a young Nerelian officer pointing toward the sky. "Something is attacking the princess," the officer shouted, fear clear in his voice. James didn't hesitate. "Take me to her," he said. Now they moved quickly. James felt a strange mixture of adrenaline and purpose as the ship accelerated toward the floating palace where Princess Lyra resided. Reports indicated that a rogue faction, seeking to destabilize the royal family, had launched a surprise assault. The princess had been caught in the attack and was critically injured. When they arrived, chaos had taken over the palace grounds. Guards were rushing to contain fires while strange mechanical drones hovered, firing beams of energy. Among the chaos, James caught sight of her, Princess Lyra, lying near a shattered balcony, her delicate form trembling. Her normally luminous eyes were dim and her breath came in shallow gasps. James's heart tightened. He had seen battlefield injuries before, but there was something different about Lyra. Saving her would require more than first aid. He dropped to his knees beside her. "Princess, I'm here," he said gently. "I'll get you out." The Nerelian healer who had arrived moments before shook his head. "Her body cannot accept ordinary treatment. She will die unless the bond is made." James frowned. "The bond?" The healer's translucent skin seemed to glow even more intensely. "A human may offer blood. It is rare, dangerous. If accepted, it can transfer vital energy and heal across species." James hesitated only briefly. He had faced impossible odds before. He had risked his life countless times. But he had never seen anyone like Lyra. Without another word, he unsheathed a small knife, cutting the palm of his hand. A few drops of human blood fell onto the sacred amulet the healer produced. The air shimmered with energy as the amulet absorbed the blood and touched Lyra's chest. Lyra gasped, her body convulsing for a moment, then gradually her color returned. Her breathing steadied and her eyes regained a faint glow. James stayed close, monitoring her carefully. "You saved her," the healer whispered. "Your blood. It has formed a bond." James nodded, exhausted but resolute. "She's going to be okay." But it wasn't just her body that had changed. Over the next hours, Lyra's demeanor shifted subtly. She moved with a steadier gait, her expressions showing courage and clarity that had been absent before. It was as if a part of James's strength had flowed into her, awakening latent qualities. Word of the event spread quickly through the palace. Guards, advisors, and even nobles who had been skeptical of humans now looked at James with a mixture of awe and respect. He had not only saved the princess's life, but had also demonstrated that humans could act with courage, wisdom, and honor. That evening, as the chaos settled, a message arrived from the queen herself. Queen Serafa, Lyra's mother, demanded James's presence in the royal court. The Nerelian officer escorted him through grand halls, their walls shimmering with living light, until he reached the throne room. Queen Serafa stood tall and commanding, her silver eyes piercing. "Human," she said, her voice steady but carrying authority, "you have done what none of our kind could. You have offered your blood to save my daughter. Tell me why." James met her gaze. "Because she is alive. Because it was the right thing to do. No one should die if I can prevent it." The queen studied him, and for a moment James felt as if she could see every thought, every motive. "Your courage is clear," she said finally, "and your heart is unusual. Our law is ancient, and it states that one who offers blood to a princess is forever bound in a way few understand." James's stomach tightened. Bound? I wasn't thinking about laws. I just wanted to save her. Serapha's eyes softened slightly, though her posture remained regal. Indeed, but laws and bonds exist to protect what is precious. You have become part of our world, whether you wish it or not. Lyra, now fully recovered, stepped forward. Her silver eyes, brighter than ever, met James's. Mother, she said, he saved my life. I trust him. I ask that he be allowed to stay near me. The Queen nodded slowly, a mixture of pride, caution, and curiosity in her expression. Very well, for now. But know this, human, your presence here will not be without rules. You are tied to my daughter. You will learn our ways, and you will honor the bond you have created. James swallowed, understanding the weight of what had happened. He had saved a life, but he had also entered a new world with responsibilities he had never imagined. And yet, despite the uncertainty, he felt a strange sense of purpose. He had always believed in courage and standing for what is right. Now, that belief would guide him in ways he could never have foreseen. That night, James stood on the balcony of the palace, overlooking the glowing forests and floating cities. He could hear Lyra moving inside, safe, her life preserved. He had offered his blood, and in return he had earned a place in a world both alien and beautiful. The stars above Nerelia shone brightly, and for the first time, James realized that bravery was not just about facing enemies. It was about stepping into the unknown, for the sake of someone else. He didn't yet know what the Queen's ultimate intentions would be. He didn't know the challenges that awaited him in this new bond. But he did know one thing. He would protect Lyra no matter the cost, and in doing so, he would prove that humanity could rise to meet any challenge, even among the stars. And somewhere in the depths of the palace, Queen Scifi watched, her mind turning over possibilities, realizing that this human might be more than a savior. He might become a force that could shape the future of her daughter, her people, and perhaps the galaxy itself. The night stretched on, quiet yet charged with promise. For James Carver, the adventure had only just begun, and the bond he had forged with Princess Lyra would lead him into trials, dangers, and discoveries beyond anything he had ever imagined. The galaxy had welcomed him, and in return he had offered his blood and his courage without hesitation. The morning sun rose over the floating city of Nerelia, bathing the glowing forests in soft golden light. James Carver stood in the royal courtyard, observing the delicate balance of nature and technology around him. Birds with translucent wings flitted between crystal towers, and streams of light ran along walkways that hovered above the ground. Despite the beauty, James knew that peace was fragile here. The bond he had forged with Princess Lyra through the sharing of his blood was honored, yes, but it also came with responsibilities he had yet to fully understand. A summons arrived from the Queen. James followed a guard through winding corridors, each step echoing softly on the polished floors. When he entered the throne room, Queen Seraph's presence filled the space like a living force. Her silver eyes, sharp and commanding, fixed on him. "You have done well," she began, her voice steady, "in saving Lyra and demonstrating your courage. Yet courage alone is not enough to navigate what lies ahead." James nodded, feeling the weight of her gaze. "I understand, Your Majesty. I will do whatever is necessary to help her and your people." Serapha's expression softened, though the authority remained. "Your blood has created a bond with my daughter. By our law, that bond ties you to her. You may not leave her side without permission. Do you comprehend this?" James swallowed. The idea of being bound by law, by culture, was foreign to him. Yet he could see the truth in her words. "I understand," he said carefully. "I never intended to leave her in danger. I only wished to protect her." Lyra stepped forward, her silver eyes brighter than ever, and placed a gentle hand on James's arm. "Mother, he saved me. He risked everything. He belongs here near me. I trust him." Scifi regarded her daughter, then James. "Very well," she said. "You will remain. But know this, your presence will not go unnoticed by our enemies. There are those who would see the princess harmed again and, by extension, test your loyalty." Before James could respond, alarms blared throughout the palace. Drones, similar to the ones that had attacked before, were approaching from the forested outskirts. The hostile faction that had tried to capture Lyra once was back, and this time their forces were larger, more organized. James felt a surge of determination. He was not a diplomat. He was not royalty. He was a human, a species known for adaptability and courage, and he would prove that humanity could stand against even the most advanced threats. "Follow me," he shouted to the palace guards, already calculating strategies. "We need to protect the princess, the queen, and the palace at once. Use the energy shields at the perimeter and funnel the attackers into narrow corridors. Do not let them breach the inner sanctum." The Nerelian guards, initially skeptical of human tactics, quickly followed his orders. James moved among them, coordinating defenses, analyzing the enemy's patterns, and using the palace's advanced technology to his advantage. He felt a strange exhilaration. This was what humans did best: adapt, improvise, and lead when the odds seemed impossible. Outside, the attackers advanced, their machines clanking and firing pulses of energy. James watched, calculating the best way to turn their strength against them. He noticed that the drones were programmed to avoid targeting Lyra directly, likely due to their recognition of her unique energy signature. That gave him an opportunity. "Lead them toward the central courtyard," he ordered. "Use the reflection panels to redirect their energy beams. Collapse the bridge if necessary." The guards executed his commands with precision. As the attackers advanced, the energy beams from their drones were reflected harmlessly back, causing confusion and disarray. James saw an opening and took it, moving swiftly to disable the enemy's control unit. Using a combination of human ingenuity and quick thinking, he managed to shut down the central drone command, leaving the attackers disoriented. Lyra, watching from a safe distance, felt a surge of admiration. This human, so different from her kind, had saved her life once. Now he was saving her world. Her trust in him deepened. She realized that bravery was not bound by species. The queen, observing from her elevated position, allowed herself a rare moment of approval. James had not only demonstrated courage but also wisdom, strategy, and loyalty. She began to understand why humans were valued across the galaxy. Despite their physical fragility compared to many alien races, with the attackers in retreat, James moved to ensure the palace and its people were secure. The princess approached him, her voice soft but firm. "James, you did it. You saved us all." James shook his head, humility in his expression. "We did it together. Your people fought bravely. I only helped guide them." Lyra smiled, and for a brief moment the tension lifted from the palace. But the queen's gaze remained steady. She stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. "You have proven yourself in battle, human," she said, "and you have shown qualities that our people respect: courage, wisdom, and loyalty. But the bond between you and my daughter is more than survival. It is a connection recognized by law and tradition. From this day, you are part of our family, and your duties will extend beyond mere protection." James felt the weight of her words, but also a sense of purpose he had never known. "I understand, Your Majesty," he said. "I will honor this bond and do whatever is required to protect Lyra and your people." The queen's expression softened. "Good, you will learn our ways, our customs, and our laws. You will be a part of our council in matters of defense, and you will serve as a protector, advisor, and companion to my daughter. This is not a command I give lightly. You have earned it through your actions, but the choice to embrace it is yours." James looked at Lyra. She nodded, her eyes filled with trust and gratitude. He realized that this was more than survival or strategy. It was about connection, loyalty, and understanding between two species. He could not walk away. He would embrace the responsibilities not out of obligation, but because it was the right thing to do. "I accept," he said finally. "I will stand by you, princess." "And by you, queen." Scifi inclined her head, a faint smile crossing her features. "Very well. Then let us begin the next chapter of our journey together." Over the following weeks, James adapted to life in the palace. He learned Nerelian customs, language, and traditions. He trained with the palace guards, sharing human strategies that enhanced their effectiveness. In return, he learned the elegance and precision of Nerelian combat, their understanding of energy manipulation, and the delicate balance of their technology with the natural world. Lyra and James grew closer, not in ways of romance, but in trust, respect, and mutual admiration. She often sought his counsel on matters of strategy, leadership, and diplomacy. He in turn marveled at her courage, intelligence, and adaptability. Together they became a team that bridged the gap between human ingenuity and Nerelian tradition. One evening, as they walked through the palace gardens, Lyra spoke quietly. "James, I never thought I would see a human act with such selflessness. You saved my life, and now you are part of my world. How do you carry such courage? James looked at her, the bioluminescent plants casting a soft glow over their faces. I think courage isn't about being fearless. It's about standing up when it matters most, even when fear is present. I couldn't let you die, and I won't ever let you, or your people, face danger alone if I can help it. Lyra smiled, a mixture of admiration and warmth. Then we are fortunate to have you here, not just as a protector, but as someone who understands that life is precious no matter the species. The Queen, observing them from a distance, allowed herself a rare smile. She saw in James not just a human, but a symbol, a reminder that the galaxy was larger than any one species and that courage, loyalty, and wisdom could come from the most unexpected places. Days turned into weeks, and threats from hostile factions began to diminish. The attackers who had once sought to harm the princess were no longer a significant danger, thanks to James's strategies and the unity he fostered among the palace defenders. The bond created by his blood had not only saved a life, but had strengthened the kingdom. Humans were no longer outsiders. They were allies, worthy of respect and trust. Finally, in a quiet ceremony within the palace, Queen Scifi formally recognized James as part of her family. There were no crowns or titles in the traditional sense, but the bond was real and recognized by law. He was a protector, a guide, and a companion to Princess Lyra. And in the eyes of the Queen, he had proven that humanity could rise to meet any challenge, bringing honor and courage wherever they went. James stood at the balcony that evening, looking out over the glowing forests and floating cities. He had entered Nerelia as a visitor, offering his blood to save a princess. Now he had found a place, a purpose, and a bond that transcended species, law, and expectation. The stars above seemed brighter than ever, reflecting the promise of the future. In the distance, he could see Lyra and the Queen walking through the gardens, their figures bathed in the soft glow of the bioluminescent plants. James smiled to himself. He had accepted the bond, embraced the responsibility, and proven that humans could be more than explorers. They could be saviors, allies, and heroes in worlds far beyond their own. And in that moment, James Carver understood something profound. Bravery and selflessness were universal. They were not defined by species, technology, or law. They were defined by action, by heart, and by the courage to stand.